All right, here is our problem set for today. All right, so parallel lines. So we're going to look on each object to find a parallel lines that appear to be parallel. Remember, parallel lines are lines that go in the same direction forever and ever. All right, so lines that never don't get closer to each other or any further apart. And I'm going to use for this, I'm going to use my highlighter. All right, you could use a marker, like a light colored marker for this. Okay, so we're going to go through each one. If you get a little ahead of me, that's great. So I see here this note, and I'm looking at lines. There's only one pair of parallel lines in this, and that's going to be this line and this line. See, those are parallel to each other. They're going to go up and down like that. Now, these are piano keys. I can pretty much find anything in here, right? I can see the top and the bottom. I'll do that one. Top line and the bottom line appear to be parallel to me, right? This wall of bricks, I've seen this before in the last one, the perpendicular lines. I'm going to use this line here and this line on the other side like that. Those are definitely parallel to each other, okay? And we see rectangles, opposite sides are always parallel. Same here, I see these lines. This line here looks parallel to this line, doesn't it? Yeah, all right, here we go. What? This is a little stopwatch. I see a lot of circles and I see a triangle. It's definitely not parallel. What do you see? Do you guys see any parallel lines? All right. I bet you're shouting out at your teacher right now. I see them too. I see this top piece right here has got two parallel lines. See that there? I'll zoom in to see if you can see that. Okay. So you see on here, this top line and that line are parallel to each other. Also, the sides are parallel. So this is a rectangle. We know opposite sides to a rectangle are parallel to each other, including that little guy down there. Isn't that cool? So I don't know about this top here because that looks like it's a curve of this watch, but the sides are, right? Good. All right, let's zoom back out again. Get them super close up there. Good, and I'll zoom in on that guy a little bit. These look like houses or a top of a fence, maybe. Oh yeah, it's probably a zoom up of that fence that we saw, right? I wouldn't say this one, but I would say here and here, right? Those two lines are parallel to each other. How about this upside down trapezoid, right? Well, this line and this line are definitely not parallel to each other. If we extended them out, they would cross eventually, right? Or this way, they would just get further and further apart. But I look at the top and bottom, they definitely appear to be parallel. They're going in the same direction, okay? These line segments don't have to be the same length this way, all right? This way, as long as they're parallel from each other, they look like they're parallel. And then finally, I've got a little ruler here, a little piece of a ruler, segment of a ruler, if you will. And I'm just going to choose the top line and the bottom line, like that. Okay? All right, let's zoom out again. And those are parallel lines, okay? So, how do you know if two lines are parallel? Well, two lines are parallel. All right, so two lines are parallel. Two lines are parallel. Parallel. Because two lines are parallel if they will never intersect. They'll never get close to each other, okay? Right. All right, so down here it says, in the square and triangular grids, see the square grid and the triangular grid? Below, use the given segments in each grid to draw a segment that is parallel using a straight edge. Oh, need to use a straight edge. So, I'm gonna reach over and grab my ruler, okay? Here's a ruler for me. Okay, so I can do that. So it's just gonna take an eye here. I see that it kind of, I'm gonna go this way here, I think. And just eyeball it. Do it the best I can, all right? There, those lines are parallel, right? You try. See how you do. Good. And then how about this one? And parallel here. I just come out a little bit. So go to this box. Here. See how it goes from corner to corner there? I'm going to do the same. Corner to corner. Good. good. Parallel. Nice. Okay, here on this next one, let me zoom in on that guy. All right, I see this line here. I'm going to just mirror that below it, right? I'm just going to follow down maybe to this one. I'm going to start there and end there. And then see if I can get a nice parallel line. There. Now those lines are definitely parallel, right? And this one, I'm going to come down to here, follow that line down, and see if I'm right. Okay. There, parallel lines. That's fun, right? And it's funny to look at this ruler here. Top and the bottom line of this ruler are parallel, right? Even the little measurements in there, those lines are all parallel. Okay, so we zoom out so we can see this one a little bit better. Okay. Determine which of the following figures has sides that are parallel by using a straight edge and the right angle template you created. Circle the letter of the shapes that have at least one pair of parallel sides. Mark each pair of parallel sides with arrowheads. Okay. And then identify the parallel sides with a statement modeled after 1. Okay. So let's zoom in on 1 real quick, okay? So you see what they did here. This is a rectangle, and we know in rectangles that opposite sides of a rectangle are parallel. And I can tell that this is a rectangle because I know what rectangles look like, okay? And I can see from my little tool that we created that those are all right angles, okay? Now this isn't a long square. You don't want to say a stretched out square. A rectangle is 4 right angles and opposite sides are parallel. That's it. That's all you need to know. It's a quadrilateral, okay? So what they did is they marked it with these little arrows. You see that? Okay? And then they said AB is parallel to CD. So I don't know if you saw that or not. Check out that little parallel symbol. It looks like a really skinny 11, doesn't it? Instead of the perpendicular sign, which kind of looked like an upside down T, parallel sign, so we don't have to write that word out, is a little skinny 11 like that, okay? So in a rectangle, we know, let me zoom out a little bit here, that opposite sides are parallel. So I know AC is going to be parallel to BD, okay? So I'm going to use those as little arrows they put in there. You see that? Like that. So I'm going to say AC, line segment AC is parallel to line segment BD, right? And that's all I have for that one. Does that make sense for you? All right, let's slide over here. Now this is a trapezoid. And I can tell right away that this guy, this guy on the side and this guy, if I extend out, right, those are eventually going to cross each other, aren't they? So they're definitely not parallel. But the top and the bottom are. I can see that they're equal distance apart. With my eyes, they're not getting any closer or any further apart. So I'm going to use my little arrow to show that these are parallel. And over here to the side, I'm going to write down that they're parallel. So HI, right, that's line segment HI. So line segment HI is parallel, or skinny 11, to the bottom, JK. Just like that. Pretty cool. All right. Now let's move down. Zoom out. We're going to go to C. Good. There's C. There. That's a triangle. Let me give you a little hint. Triangle has no parallel lines. Look at them all. Right? I do see something that might be perpendicular here, right? Yeah, those are perpendicular lines, but they're not parallel. There's no lines in here going in the same direction. So this is flat out none. We don't have any parallel lines. Then if I go to D, those are curved lines. You can't have parallel lines if they're curved. Okay, so this is also none. All right, that's pretty easy. We're already halfway down the page. All right, let's go this one. All right, now this one looks like a rectangle that's kind of turned on its side, doesn't it? Let's check with our tool. All right, I'm going to stick this in there and notice that that is a right angle. I'm going to try this one here. Notice that's a right angle too. These are all right angles. This is just a rectangle turned on its side. So this side is parallel to the opposite side. So ZA is parallel to FW. See how that works? Let me zoom in. And this side, ZF is parallel to AW. See how that works? So we're going to write that over here. Get the parallel sides written down. Let's do the top one first, ZA. So line segment ZA is parallel, little skinny 11, to FW, to line segment FW. And don't forget about this one, this line and this line. Line segment ZF is parallel to line segment AW on the opposite side, okay? Remember, rectangles, opposite sides are parallel. Good. Now let's move on to M. What shape do you see? I see a triangle too, and guess what? Triangles do not have parallel sides. It's really impossible. It's a three-sided figure. You really can't have parallel sides with a three-sided figure. I mean, what's opposite of this side? Really just this point here, right? These lines go right through it. If we extended these lines out, they'd cross. Same thing. So this is none again, right? Now down here, remember what shape this is called? Shout it out if you know it. That's right, it's a hexagon. It's a hexagon because it has 6 sides. So I'll write down that word 6, right? See how there's an X in 6? The word hexagon also has a hex. That's how I remember it, 6x hex, okay? So let's take a look at this one. I'm gonna take a look at line TO. And I'm gonna look opposite of that, okay? My eyes immediately go down to the bottom. Does this top line and this bottom line segment, do they look parallel to each other? If you're saying yes, you're absolutely right. This line is parallel to this line. So TO, line segment TO, is parallel to line segment RQ. Cool. But is that it? I don't think so either. I'm going to look at OP and then look opposite of OP. Doesn't it look like those lines are going in the same direction? Yeah, because they are. So this side and this side are parallel to each other. So OP is parallel to SR. Shaker Road, right? Now I got one pair of last sides here. It's this side and this side. In a regular hexagon, there are 3 pairs of parallel sides, right? So I've got PQ is parallel to ST. So line segment PQ is parallel to line segment ST. Nice. And then finally our last one is like a really weird looking house, almost like an A-frame house, right? All right, I'm looking around here. Do you see any parallel lines? Do they stick out to you at all? Yeah, they stick out to me too. I'm noticing this. I'm noticing that this line, VW, is perpendicular to XW. And on the other side, YX is also perpendicular to XW. So that means this side and this side are parallel to each other. And that's it. So YX, line segment YX is parallel to line segment VW. Nice. Okay. Parallel lines. Nothing new to you guys, hopefully. Last page here, okay? All right, true or false? A triangle cannot have sides that are parallel. We already explained this, didn't we? Yeah. What are we going to say here, kids? Triangle cannot have sides? This is a true statement. True, right? A triangle only has 3 sides. So it can never have one side. That won't ever touch sides. It has any shape that has a parallel sides has to have at least 4 sides. It has to be at least a quadrilateral, okay? All right, now here's 6. Explain why A and B and C and D are parallel, but E and F and G and H are not. All right, go ahead, teacher. If you want to pause here and discuss this, you can. All right, hopefully you came up with something like this. Line segments AB and CD are parallel because they will never intersect. However, line segments EF and line segment GH will intersect. So they are not parallel. Okay, good. Okay, last one here. It says draw a line using your straight edge. Okay, so let's do that. Draw a line using our straight edge. Okay, there's my line. Now use your right angle template and straight edge to construct a parallel line to the first line that we drew. Well, I'm just going to use my ruler, and I'm going to do this. Check this out. Choose my ruler. I'm going to place my ruler on one side here, and then I'm going to draw a line on the other side of my ruler. And guess what I end up with? Parallel lines, that's right. Okay, you just draw opposite sides of your ruler, and guess what you end up? Parallel lines, even though they might cross over the word, okay? Great job today, kids. Parallel lines, perpendicular lines, angles, points, rays, all that kind of stuff. You're doing a great job. We'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to actually have a little bit of a fraction review, okay? Great work today, kids. We'll see you tomorrow.